figured out how to play up against Quest, and I'm not vibing super hard with this Pugna, to be perfectly honest.
Okay. I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
We'll see
what
what
about
happens.
you? Did you feel like this is going to a fifth? Do you feel like this is it?
Before the coddle, I was in two minds. After the coddle, I'm like, ooh, not really feeling it.
Yeah. Okay.
Clever little move there to try and block up the hard camp, one of the main avenues that the Keeper of the Light uses to be able to pick up a lot of that early farm to get into the early Urn of Shadows. So, nice little sentry ward that serves double to be able to block up the Observer ward placed up here, as well as, ends up getting rid of the sentry as well. So, very nicely done. Good start for Quest, at least.
Yep. To be able to get rid of that. So there is a deep little observer ward here in the jungle that they've already placed here for Team Falcon. So it's all about making sure that they utilize these early couple of engagements to try and elevate themselves towards the next level for Quest.
It's just a single illuminate. They're happy to cop it. I mean, it's level 1. It doesn't really feel all that significant. Max damage 185. By the time they walk back to the tower, they're basically going to be completely regen without even popping a tango.
Gonna feel A-okay. So, the lanes have been set. They are ready. It's been an interesting matchup between Noob as well as Malrin throughout the entirety of yesterday and today. I feel like there has been a lot of these matchups that have been kind of back and forth. I haven't really, felt like there's been one player who's just gotten over the top of the other. I felt like Malrin as well as Noob have been kind of trading farm in a lot of these different lanes.
I'd be very surprised to see Noob have more than, 3 denies in this laning phase. I was not expecting that, though. I mean, this is a really strong lane, I suppose. Omar and Malik already able to get that first blood on the board, even without the level 2. That was really the period that I was going to start looking at more of these side lanes, but well, that's a nice way to be able to start the game off, and it is Malik, the one that we said needs to really ball out of control.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a nice dead shot to be able to get the angle on the snaking and walk directly in towards the hoof stomp, and they just had plenty of chase potential with the blood grenades and what have you. So snaking goes down early here.
Once again,
so Quest start out with the first blood. He's just doing a lot of damage so far here. Skidder, so close to going down there on the Wraith King.
Probably would have killed him if he actually committed with that double edge there. I think he wasn't expecting Omar to be able to reach him with that last right click coming through. This time around, Malik can't afford to go quite as greedy with his item build as he did previously. You need just the one ring of protection to be able to counter out Snaking's Blightstone.
Yeah, nah, rush the Reaver, brother. Do it. I know you want to. It's calling you. Screaming out from the secret shop. Malik, buy me. Buy me first.
I'm on sale.
They wish. Could you imagine that? It gets to 60 minutes and everything's 20% off. It's slow. Actually, it starts at 1%, then slowly ticks for each 2 minutes that goes past 60 minutes. Items get cheaper.
Have more items and the game be 8 slotted.
Yes, that'd be cool. It's everything's 50%
I'm so
off.
happy that they got rid of that. If you eat a tree, it just actually doesn't heal you for anything. That was so stupid, man.
Yeah, I understand why they did it originally. They were like, well, it was because you got double regen from the sprouted trees, so they were like,
sure,
let's
just give it normal regen.
Well, yeah, but they were like, let's see if this is okay, and then they were like, wait, hold up, this is actually useless. People don't want it to be useless.
Let's make it 4 times as good.
True. To make it completely useless.
Snake might be in a little bit of trouble if he goes too far, much further forward. They don't have a blood grenade to be able to make a play around, though.
Yeah, I don't think they just have the damage with, level 1 dead shot. Maybe with the calling at level 2?
Creep wave's too big. I think they can't afford to make this sort of play. They would love having their own level 3 as well.
Even though this lane is seemingly going quite heavily the way of Malik, it does seem like Skidder's got a decent amount of net worths. Unfortunately for the Pugna, that is the first death for him in this lane. Kaori goes down the back of Crit, and as you said, there was a rotation from Snaking, and looky, it's 3.5 minutes, and this is exactly what Snaking does. They get the kill, they get the Lotus Pull, and off they pop again.
Straight up back towards the top side. Looks like Oh, actually won't be able to get the small camp pull off, so Skidder is going to leave Malik just constantly playing down next to his tower exactly where he wants to be, at least until he's picked up that Vanguard for himself. Might be able to get a side pull off, and yep, Snaking is able to do so because that half camp is available.
Like, happy little clam is Malik so far, but his pull is going one way. TA2000 though, they're able to get the kill there on a crit. Amar, he has a big wand, and that's a lot of damage from that Lucent Beam. Yeah, 2 levels early on means that TA2000 gets the kill there onto the Bristleback. So, starting out nice and hot here on the Luna.
It's exactly the sort of start that you want. Don't let the Bristleback get out of control. Another kill up on the top side, really showing the strength again of this Centaur plus Muerta combination. You just find it so much harder to be able to move away. You guarantee that you're going to get hit by the Stomp. It allows for such an easy follow-up into the dead shot, and probably get 2, maybe even 3 usages of the double edge as a result of that. I wonder if he puts more than 2 points into the Retaliate, right? It feels nice at being able to deal with a lot of these Wraith King skeletons if he does end up using them onto you.
It's also quite a lot of the harass from Snaking, and speaking of, he was in the mid lane and gets the kill there onto Noob. Means it's just a lot of the harass from the Nature's Prophet right-clicking you gets kind of returned. Retaliated, if you will. Kaori is in trouble, bottom side. The calling's good though, beautiful dead shot as well. Amar just walks in and gets clicked down by TA2000, so that was potentially another kill for them. But Snake's gonna walk in. The Echo Slam goes in onto Noob, getting him underneath this tower. They miss out on the Blood Grenade as well. They need these auto attacks, and Marlon will be able to take that kill for him. And as you said, that was only just a TP back in from Noob. Didn't have the mana to hoof stomp.
Get the hoof stomp from the low ground, yeah.
Oh, and they catch Omar as well. Oof. Starting out thick and fast here for Team Falcon. Snaking is doing a lot of work early on.
Not even getting lucky with the power rune as well. It's going to spawn on the bottom side. Make sure that it's there. Never mind, Kaori's going to be the one to actually yoink it away. So, cheeky little stuff being done by the Pugner.
Yeah, he just walks in and he says, "Oh, this is sick. I like shield runes, eh?"
Tiny little positive is that they did see the Observer Ward placed in the left side of that mid lane by Snaking. So, Noob should be able to use the Sentry Ward that he's purchased to be able to get that D-Ward off, bring him up to that level 6, hopefully as quickly as possible.
Yep. Get these D-Wateries going.
That's so cheeky as well by Snaking, just trying to use the Sprout to yoink away a few of those last hits on the camp that had been built up for Noob to be able to try and farm. Doesn't look like he was able to do too much of it though. Yeah.
Was close. But
just in place though to be able to build up some stacks. He realizes that Amar isn't having the easiest time in the lane, but you know what? Bristleback with stacks, always able to catch up, and right there to be able to yoink away the Wisdom Rune as well.
Yep. Just be able to get a little bit of extra experience, so things are going relatively straightforward for a lot of these lanes so far. Snaking is making a lot of these rotations, but now Omar's down here as well. We want to try and get the fight going on to this Bristleback. Beautiful dead shot off of the range creep, and with this magic damage, Amar so low. He used the quills, so they got the extra damage from the Nether Ward, and Snaking and Crit just have to watch on.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
That's 3 points in the Nether Blast as well. So Kaori, he's not quite able to catch on to Crit with that dead shot there, but still plenty of damage being pumped in to this bottom tower. I mean, there would be an absolute dream if they were able to open up this this side of the map, make it a lot more capable for them to be able to invade into the areas that Amar has built up a bunch of these stacks for himself.
Snaking comes in to try and get the gank onto Noob in the mid lane, but isn't able to secure that, and unfortunately loses his own life.
Got some urn charges now as well to be able to make plays with. How good's the dead shot?
It's pretty good. Goes directly back into the Illuminate, but how much damage do they have? A few more of these auto attacks going in. Fissure directly underneath the tower, but Noob isn't going to get by those auto attacks, and
still enough.
With that extra bit of farming, he should be able to pick up the kill there onto Malrent, and another dead shot goes in. The TP comes in from Snaking though, so just buys a little bit of this extra space with his own body.
Downside is, even though Noob did end up getting the kill, he wasn't actually in range, so Urn's back to having 0 charges. It's now a Spirit Vessel off the back of that, so unfortunate there.
Yeah, I think they could have just played extremely fast if they had those 2 Spirit Vessel charges, right? Like, you just kind of walk to a side lane, you're probably going to guarantee almost a kill just with the Spirit Vessel charge alone.
Maybe not the bot side, because once again, Falcons have done a really good job of just giving so much vision, so much understanding of where... I mean, it's a Keeper of the Light, right? When you get the Boots of Travel, it's a different story, but you still are able to make rotations just moving pretty quickly. You know, Coddle moves pretty fast, especially at nighttime, with that little bit of an extra movement speed buff, so... just to be able to see if he is just walking his way down towards the bottom side is real handy.
Yeah.
Looks like they'll be able to get rid of at least one of those wards, though. Probably. Is it being de-warded yet? Doesn't seem like it. There was just a courier up there for quite some time, but no wards in the inventory for right now.
Yeah, nice little set of D wards coming in there from Snaking as well, just putting a lot of emphasis on this jungle side. They did already eclipse onto Amar, but now he's just going to try and TP away. The damage, it's not there in time from the Illuminate. That would have been a big kill to be able to pick up Amar, and Crit walks away from the calling, so the Phantasms won't clip him.
Yeah, just missing the dead shot there means it results in so much more, right? Not only do you not get the Spirit Vessel charges, it means that you're going to feel so much more salty about any sort of moves towards the other side of the map, right? Malik, he's got the Vanguard. Looks like he's building straight into the Blink Dagger. I quite like this, right? I don't think you can afford to go the really early heart. I think you need to be a presence. You need to be the front line. You need to be allowing the dead shot to be a lot more reliable to be cast.
Yeah, and speaking of early daggers, Malron's picked up his own already.
Mm-hmm.
So
make a
he
play
wants to
with
get
that
active
A-stream.
here on the Earthshaker.
Yeah.
He's top the area they want to go, though. Trying to take down Malik early on. Maybe trying to stunt out the Centaur War Runner. Looks like Malron is trying to do a little bit of scouting in the jungle, see if he can try and find where TA2000 is.
Who would you say has been the MVP of this game so far?
Snaking?
Yep, that's what I was about to say. Most deaths in the game, but it really feels like his impact has been constantly throughout the map. His vision being provided on the bottom side, he's pushing towers right now, he's de-warding, he's scaling, just movements across the map he's been involved in equal the most in the entire game, so feels like a really solid performance coming through from the POS 5 from Falcons.
Yeah, I really feel like every single time they have this Nature's Prophet that Falcons are definitely in a much better position, just because the way that Snaking can kind of move around the map and the way that he understands the way that Dota needs to be played really does put them in a good position.
That's his job.
Push from creep waves, hit some towers, give us this map space to play with.
Fresh Blink Dagger on Malik as well, so we were mentioning Malrines before, but Malik has one too. Doesn't want just snaking. It's not going to be quite enough. You'd really like to have a higher priority target. Might be using the DD rune to bait, and it seems like they will, and they'll just end up claiming that Nature's Prophet as a result.
Yeah, they make it clean and concise.
It feels okay.
Yeah. That's the big thing, right? As long as it leads into, like, you know, this tier 1 tower and a little bit of extra gold, then probably happy with the initial blink reveal not being as flashy as you would hoped.
While that was all happening
got
as well,
denied.
nice deny from Melrine. While that was all happening as well, I mean, the bottom tower had been taken previously, and as soon as the Nature's Prophet ended up dying, you just saw Amar make an absolute Usain Bolt-style run towards the ancient stack that had been built up for him. He's like, we can't let this get taken. We've lost both tier 1 towers. It's so much easier for them to now invade into this sort of area, so at least he's been able to pick up all of that farm for himself.
Yeah. At least he's able to get that little bit of extra gold going his
Different
way
style
after a
of
little
build
bit of a
for him
rough
as well.
start.
Straight for the BKB, no ags for Amar.
Yeah, I don't know. Amar does have some weird builds up his sleeve. Some of them I'm not a big fan of, but I mean, there's a reason why that he's won a major and I haven't.
It's going to hinder his farming capability for sure, but maybe he's feeling like, you know what? We've got a Shaker that's having a pretty decent time. We've got a Wraith King with an early-ish Midas that's going to have a pretty decent time. I'm just more concerned about making sure that I'm avoiding the main part of Coddle's strength, which is this early-ish game.
Yeah, I guess so. Also means that the Luna doesn't really have these this good enough way for her to just eclipse and kind of get the bristleback off of her back. For now. Oh, snaking. He got found out by the final tickle of the Illuminate and will eventually be picked off as well.
Not the king. Not the MVP.
It's an ambitious
2, 5, and
TP.
2.
Yeah. It is a hard day being a Nature's Prophet.
You know, we really did feel like he'd been the most impactful up until that
Yeah.
point, but he's just, you know, died and then died and then died one more time. So, a little unfortunate for us, but you know what? I think he's got the maturity to be able to shrug it off.
Yeah, and I mean, that just goes to show that it's not all about kills, deaths, and assists, right? For when it comes to impact. It's all about what actually happens on the map and what leads to it and where it comes from.
I've mentioned this before, and I'm sure I've told you about it, but you know, my good mate Anna, when he was forced to play support in a lot of these pubs, he would pick Nature's Prophet when it was the, you know, the Gigatreants was the acronym shard.
Yeah.
Oh, mine. Move on to Amar.
Oh, that's a big Blink Echo Slam that comes back in and a noob gets eviscerated. It was the Nature's Wrath that does the damage. They get the kill onto Omar as well, and that was the turnaround of the century. Amar, dangling like a hefty piece of meat in front of this tier 2 tower, is able to pull the trigger and get the extra kills they need.
Gives him the old nice try tip there, just to try and go for a kill right in front of a tier 2 tower. Very, I don't want to even say optimistic, but you know, it's something that can be very easily punished if you're not too careful. Still, though, they'll be able to at least retain their tower off the back of this. That is one area of Quest that they should be feeling quite confident about. Omar, nice timing of the 4-staff to be able to get away just in time.
Yeah, Malron though, oh, what a beautiful Phantom's Embrace. Look at the damage that comes in there from the Enchant Totem, and Malik, he is oh so low, but they're going to come in with the Soulbind once again. Do the damage with the Stroke of Fate is crit. He has had the fastest fingers of the West throughout the entirety of these last couple of days, man. And we touched on it, what was it, game 1? It's so refreshing seeing Crit kind of just back to his own, like, mechanically skilled god mode, you know? Like, just watching this guy be an absolute freak at Dota is something to behold.
I remember seeing his tweet after TI saying, you know what, time is over, time for a refresh. I'm going to show you a whole new crit in 2024.
And he's showing it so far, and you know, as a big fan, definitely does fill me with a lot of hope for this roster, and especially if they're able to win this qualifier, right? Like they are one step away. I was after the series yesterday, I thought, oh, okay, this is just going to be Quest doing Quest things, but putting a lot of pressure on Snaking right now, who is in no man's land. He was trying to deal with this tier 2 tower push, but you know, I just thought that Quest had their number, but it seems like going into the lab today, they were able to push away the Winter Bears, and now they're looking to try and claim the scalp of Quest as well.
Alright, so with the Nature's Prophet dying, hopefully I can finally tell my my Anna anecdote.
Okay,
so
go.
basically he played the Nature's Prophet in that position 5 role, and he just basically made the goal of his game to have as little possible net worth as he could. So he had the Aghanim Shard, just so that he would have the Gigatreants, and he also had, I think, a Solar Crest, and maybe that's it. He might have also had, like, a Blightstone on top of everything else. And literally, the only thing he did the entire game was TP around and hit towers. That's it. Like, he just made sure that people were always on the back foot. He never joined a team fight outside of using his Wrath of Nature, and it just causes so much havoc across the map, and I really feel like that's what Snaking's doing, right? He's 5, 6, and 3, most deaths of the entire game, but you gotta say that he's making a lot of defensive movements have to happen from Quest right now.
Man, Quest are just the masters of sneaking these Roshans. I was just, you know, off in La La Land, but and they just get a Rosh at 18 minutes. How did they get that done? And now they want to try and fight. I love this early aggression coming in from Quest. Crit is absolutely eviscerated by the Eclipse. And with this early shard as well on the Lunar, it is so hard for them to deal with. I'm loving the change of pace coming in from TA 2000. I thought this was going to be another snooze fest of a farm fest, right? But he's decided to go, nope.
It's fine to have it be a farm fest, but I like the areas of farm that he's taking, right? He's taking away that space that Falcons need to be able to scale. He's making sure that this Bristleback doesn't have this uber scary timing. Like, yeah, sure, you've got the Arcane Boots, the Vanguard, and the Ag Scepter, but it was at 18 minutes, not 15. And that 3 minutes difference, look at what it's resulted in, right? You get a kill, you take away the enemy Ancients, you get Roshan, and you're probably going to get a tier 2 as well off the back of everything.
Yeah, and you also get to defend your towers as well, right? Like, yeah, they've been able to defend this mid-tier 1 for the longest time, means that they just don't have these avenues to be able to walk through when it comes to trying to take the top side.
Falcons. Really
Is Malik privy to this?
I mean, he's got a Reaver at least, so might just be okay.
Oh, Malrin didn't want to go in onto Noob, but now they're going to get the blinding light to at least buy them a little bit of time, and Skinner is able to confirm on that one. You're going to come in now with the Solar Bind, the Soul Bind, and Crit, unfortunately, is the guy who is going to be just dead at the end of this soiree. No way, no way.
He doesn't have TP.
Oh. Okay, I was going to say, if Crit breaks some ankles and then just TPs away in the trees, I could just be like, noob, that's a smack on the wrist, buddy.
That would have been an assisted ankle break, though.
Yeah. That would have been a mission failed successfully kind of deal. So.
Alright, still looking pretty even, though. Right now it's saying Quest 60% win probability. Yeah, you kind of understand that, right? Like, you've got the ability to scale on this Muerta, but that's kind of it, right? Like, it's him and the Luna. Not too much else. I do have faith in a Centaur late-ish game, but I have more faith in, you know, an Earthshaker, in a Bristleback, in a Wraith King. Hell, even the Nature's Prophet, right? And against the Luna, the Grimstroke feels alright. You can see Crit, he's got his early items that he needs. Arcane Boots, Wand, Shard, and then just straight into the Aghanim Scepter after that. And it's not like they're lacking the stuns as well to be able to get that ideal use of the Dark Portrait off as well. You should be able to get it onto the Luna without the illusion getting immediately killed.
Yep, Blink Echo is going to be wonderful to hold a little bit later on. So,
almost instant torment is being taken as well.
Yep, continues to farm up. Continues to keep this net worth rolling. So, Wisdom Rune now going the way of Omar. As you said, instant tormentors are always nice to see from these teams. So, a few more of these shards coming up.
Having this tier 1 tower, though, on the top side is just such a boon for Quest. I mean, they're going to be smoking up, and they're going to see the courier, so the exact position is going to be revealed.
They just get destroyed so quick with that Wraith King to be able to blink in with the Desolator and just see how much damage that it does do. TA2000, though, he wants to try and come in and win this fight. Malrin, that is an entire eclipse that you're going to cop. Skidder, he's so low here. So with the Spirit Vessel, he doesn't really have a good place to try and farm and regen, especially with these armlet toggles. Crit. Very scary. Again, just gets caught out, and the amount of damage that they can do for Quest, it is so simple for them to just be able to continue to run over the top of Team Falcon.
The seeds of fortune.
Yeah, I mean, getting the Centaur feels nice, but certainly not for 2 in return with that Echo Slam now being on cooldown, with all this time being spent not farming towards the Aghanim Scepter on Malrine. You can see even Snaking's overtaken him in net worth, and well, it's resulted in him at least getting the Aghanim Scepter completed now for the Nature's Prophet, so plenty of damage able to be used to bounce this one around the map. The roots obviously going to be incredibly impactful, especially if you're able to time it around that Stampede usage from Malik. Really reduces the effectiveness quite heavily.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for Snaking to be trying to aim for, is trying to utilize the Aghanim Scepter version of the Nature's Wrath to be able to lock people down so they don't have to worry about the Stampede.
I always, whenever there's like a bit of a downtime, I always like to read the flavor text of a lot of these. Like the Wrath of Nature. Nature's Prophet calls Verodicia's Fury to strike down those who might ravage the wilderness. Who the hell is Verodicia? I'm sure Slacks knows.
That looks like one of the names of a Veronica sister. That's what it looks like to me.
True.
Verodicea Veronica. Would that be like the flavor text of the Immortal or the flavor text of the actual spell? Do they change with Immortals?
I'm
Is that a
not sure,
thing?
actually. Yeah. They do, absolutely. Just because I'm looking at Ogre Magi's and I know what his normal one is, and the one with the Arcana is literally just batter up instead, so...
Okay. So, seems like that's the Arcana, or what do you mean, the Immortal version.
I'd gladly hit something.
Dire are scanning.
It's a little sad that some things don't have flavor text, but you know what a flavor I do like, Matt? And it is the flavor of fighting. And that is happening towards the mid lane right now. Unfortunately for Mr. Snaking, he has a big bag centaur directly on top of him. Nice little roots though. Echo Slam in the background and once again eviscerates out onto this Pugna. TA2000 turns on the BKB though. Will run away with this Eclipse as well. They want to try and get on top of this Muerta. Omar stays alive, but it's a beautiful Blinku stop once again. Malik turning it on for the boys here in this game. Number 4, Omar. He does so much damage, but Amar turns around and takes them down with the Quill. Skidder is able to capitalize on that, but he's just getting slowed down. So the first life will go away. He has the Blink Dagger, but the Fear's there in time. And now with the calling as well, it is all Kite City. And unfortunately for this Wraith King, he just doesn't have the move speed to get away. And he will lose his life eventually. Some Arlop Toggles are doing some cool stuff. They've got the vision thanks to the Courier. And with the dead shot, can he Armor Toggle? No, he can't. Noob's able to finish him off. So
Not with a Vessel on him, it's way too hard.
big fight in that mid lane, but doesn't really change the way that this game has been going because it is now very heavily in the favor of Quest.
Radiant's middle
What
tower
happened with the, there was a gem on the ground somewhere. Oh, it looks like it was yoinked back and placed inside the base, so nicely done there to be able to, I believe, just get it on the Courier after that fight.
Dire's top tower
Just
is
being
under
able
You just see
to,
the difference, though, when
skill back.
TO2000 is able to play like this much more aggressively. And, I mean, you just compare that 75-minute game, right? He is finally at these Eclipses that actually hit heroes, you know, even against the Wraith King, who oftentimes the Skeletons can soak up a lot of those Eclipse hits. The timing has been perfect from TA2000. The farming patterns as well. He hasn't died a single time. And even just his ability to stand and man fight feels so much more significant this game. You know, not going uber greedy, making sure he has that spell immunity, as well as now he's going into the Satanic as well. I'm liking this so much more from him.
Dire's top
Yeah, it
tower
really does
is
feel
under
like that
attack.
TA2000 probably took this this game number 4 personally and really is starting to set an example for his team to try and get this series over the line. And if they do win out this game, we will go to the magical game number 5.
Dire's
And
top
that's where
tower
things
is under
really start to
attack.
get special. I have a question. I mean, I don't think you'd be able to name a song, but do you feel like that
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, at least at TI, maybe Mages as well. You know, I'm gonna mention it, but in League of Legends, when they go to
my
Game 5, they have a special song that gets played.
I don't know, is it KDA? You know, that,
No, it's
whatever
a
that song's called, Pop Stars?
It's a song called Silver Scrapes, and apparently it's been a thing that's been going since the start. Do you think that would be cool in Dota, or is Dota too hipster for, you know, a special song to happen?
No,
in
I think
gameplay?
Dota's exciting enough on its own without having to rely on cheap tricks like that to be able to get people interested.
Incredibly based. That was the response that I needed. Thank you. We're right. We're in the right spot here, chat.
Radiant's
We got
bottom
Roshan
tower
coming up in a
is
minute
under
as well. I keep looking at the... I was about to say Tundra with Skinner walking towards it. I mean, it's a long game. It's what you come to expect. And they'll see that they're playing around the general area. There's no reason for a Wraith King to be up in this vicinity. The power of vision, once again, they control the high ground, though, on Falcons. Low ground belongs to Quest. I want to see if they try and go for any sort of, like, big wraparound. In these sorts of engagements, it's really been Melreen that's been the difference maker, right? Being able to get some huge Echo Slams off in the past. He's also got the Yoga Seal Totem if he really needs it.
Oh,
There's
Malik,
that wraparound.
he's going to go, and they get directly into the background. Crit goes by Skidder as well. About half HP'd already. They only really popped
They're
out the
actually
Stampede.
retreating.
Yeah, they just have to leave because Crit gets completely eviscerated. Malrain isn't going to be able to find an angle in Amar. He's just going to have to run away.
Melreen's also really lucky. He ended up TPing towards the outpost, so it was a full 6 seconds, and
are scanning.
he was just able to get away. At least Tamara's able to yoink away that one in time. You are diving past a tier 2 tower, my friend. I guess it's only Omar chasing him, but you know what? He just wants to play the distraction plays rather than be... Ooh, actually, TA. He's got Eclipse available. Just wants to clear out the creep waves first, maybe?
I think they're just trying to hope to see if they can bait out a BKB from Amar. But they don't get... that's the most
I love all the
Amar
good vibes
response
coming
I've
out
ever
between
seen.
all these players, right? Especially Noob, Omar, and Amar. There's always some really good vibes between these guys, you know. In the pre-game of... Was it game 1? There was a lot of banter talking about, you know, are they going to go to gym? Are they not? And Noob said, look, if you don't gym, it's a guaranteed loss. And Amar's like, well, I haven't gymmed today yet. And he's like, well, they'll tell you what's going to happen.
He also said that, I believe they're saying that they need a 3-0 to go to the gym, and unfortunately that's not the way that it's going.
They found
especially
someone
now
on the
with
back
Snakey
lines
being
and
found
Snake.
in the corner as well. He's also low here on the Nature's Prophet. They want to see if they can try and get the kill here for Skitter. Standing up on the high
The
ground
Zuck.
though is Omar. They're just going to turn around and deal the damage with this Pierce the Veil. Double buybacks from these supports as well. Malrin in the sidelines is juking and driving. Oh, he is breaking some ankles around the Roche pit here. The Team Falcons, they're happy with this fight because they get a lot out of Quest.
They've only got another
There's anything
15
for
seconds
it.
as well, and it's going to be Falcons that have the power to go down towards that bottom side of the map if they really want to. You've always got vision with just launching all of these treants into the pit, with using the hairball to be able to get in there from range as well. How long left on the Echo Slam? Yeah, full 90 seconds, so that's not going to be a factor. But yeah, like we were saying, Quest, they're the ones that are going to be moving down bottom. It's going to be the race of that versus the TP down to the outpost.
Yeah, Malik goes in, gets a nice little hoost stomp on the Skitter, but now you're going to have the BKB being popped, and Amar, he's just going to walk into the faces of the entirety of Quest. Skitter's going to stand in front of him, doesn't have the reincarnate, so the Wraith King is going to go down. They're looking to try and find Noob here, who's stuck inside of the trees, but the Decrep and the Zuck, it's going to be enough to be able to keep the Coddle away. Now Malrain is going to try and get in on top of him. He needs to use the Echo, but he doesn't get closer to him. He's so fast, but he gets too close to Amar, who takes him down. It was actually Snaking who gets him done with the Sprout that was still left over. So Amar's is going to be able to run away here. And everybody is going to have a little handshake in this Radiant bottom side. And what a chase. That's the weirdest set of circumstances I've seen in a long time, Matt, where one team TPs to the outpost, the other team is using the Twin Gate, and it's a race. It is a race to who gets to react first, and it was Malik who was the one that got to react first, and Amar just walks out with his BKB and tries to take down the entirety of Quest.
He knows that that's the only way that they were able to get down to the bottom side, right? They took a tier 1 tower really early. TPing to the tier 2 tower, not worth it. You just give up so much position if it's going to be the case. So really heads up play there by Malik, and well, good use once again of the Eclipse there by TA2000 to be able to wipe Skitter off the map, excuse me, to be able to make that Wraith King a little bit more of a non-factor. He's now going into the Radiance as well, so he just wants a little bit of that burn damage, a little bit of that mischance as well being inflicted onto TA especially.
Yeah, I think he realizes that these fights are starting to become a little extended for his liking. You know, it's a very kind of bursty build that you've got with like the Blink Dagger.
Omar, man. Quick fingers this game on both of the position 4s. Crit and Omar are just playing out of their mind.
Oh, Malrin. He has to pop the BKB to try and get away from TA2000. TA2000 is very fast, but doesn't get the connection with the Lucent Beam. So Stampede as well as BKB being used. So both teams trading some cooldowns. Did he just force stuff away from the Echo? Is
Yep.
Yeah.
He did indeed, and it drops the calling as well, just to make sure that there was no follow-up Fisher to be able to come and enable that chase down. Well, that's a big pick-off. And I wonder if you do go up onto this high ground. I mean, you've got Satanic, you've got BKB, Butterfly, Aegis, and the Shield Rune to be able to protect yourself. At the very minimum, they're going to be able to get the Glyph off, which feels quite nice. Are they going to stick around, though? It's just TA2000 for now. What is Noob and Malik doing? Just protecting the creep wave, I think?
Yeah,
just holding
seems
hands
like
with it?
Just so it doesn't get eviscerated. But speaking of evisceration, that was a big crit that came in there from Skitter. Forces TA2000 to pop that Satanic and get a little bit of healing coming in from the Illuminate. Nice Fisher. TA2000 still is able to hit that tier 3 tower though. They're going to try and go
nice
in.
mana
What a
dodge.
mana dodge as well. They get the Lotus Orb, so that means that Skitter just gets himself stunned up. So this fight is starting to look a little rough so far here for Team Falcon. Malren. He's taking the creep wave. He's got he's getting close to the cleave talent.
I was about to say, did he echo the creep wave? But no.
Well, you actually get cleave from the scepter now.
No true strike anymore, though.
That's true. So
Man, nothing gives true strike anymore. Come on. It's only
MKB
what?
gives pseudo true strike.
Yeah,
His
Monkey King
accuracy.
Q does, and Enchanted Quiver does. Not much else.
Silver Edge hit? Is that
I don't even know, man. It's too late.
true strike?
Ask me in the morning. Proper morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's currently 5:15 in the morning, Matt.
It is morning, yes, I know.
It's been in the morning.
We
for a
done
long
been morning.
Time. Oh, Bloodthorn does as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
That's
all this whinging for nothing. There's plenty of true strike in the game, mate. There's not plenty of towers left here, though, for Team Falcons to hold on to. It's only going to be their tier 3s from now on.
Plenty of time left on that Aegis, though, to be able to make another move up onto the high ground. No glyph available either.
Look at the
They
damage,
would love
right?
to be able to drag this one out without losing too much of that high ground for another 2 minutes.
Oh, Amar goes in. They want to try and take down this first Aegis. How much damage do they have? They do have the Nullifier that goes in directly onto Luna.
Oh,
but they
he
just don't have
missed!
the damage.
The
He missed
butterfly,
and
he
isn't able to
missed!
convert onto the kill. So they're just going to leave him be. He turns around with the Satanic Skidder. He's the one that's getting in trouble. The Dark Portrait is just going to get destroyed here by the Luna on the left-hand side. Namar wants to go in, get himself healed up. He does do a lot of damage with that Aghanim Scepter, but again, they still just haven't been able to convert onto these heroes just yet. The Echo Slam goes a little wide, and they just can't get the kills, man. They've used everything, and everybody's limping away. They only get the kill onto Omar. And now Amar is trying his best and walking in, doing a lot of damage to TA2000. He's very low on the HP and mana. Would love to lose his life, but they are seeing if they can try and kite this out. They've got another 48 seconds to try and get it done. He's nice and healthy now. Amar goes back in. They take down Noob. That's 100 seconds
kite
with no
begins.
Keeper of the Light. This is where it starts getting awkward because these extended fights are getting very, very scary
He's
for them to
rooted
try
in
and play around
place.
with. They are absolutely kiting the crap out of TA2000. Chopped down, goes out onto Malik, and Skidder is able to hold on for it. And now with this Nullifier, he's so strong. And the Wraith King once again taps onto the Pugner and will let him go back to Fountain for free. And TA2000, he was getting kited till the cows come home, and he gets deleted. And that is a big fight now for Team Falcon.
I'm real surprised that happened. I mean, I really was about to commend the use of the Ogre Seal Totem, right? Like, it's pretty rare that you see someone like a Luna pick up an Ogre Seal Totem in comparison to, I don't know, Elven Tunic or something else along those lines. But they realize how much of a threat the Sprout is. They realize how much of a threat the Fisher is. They realize how important it is to be able to get away from the Bristleback when he's got that Ag Scepter up and pumping, not wanting to rely on something like the Silver Edge, Hurricane Pike to be able to do that dirty work for you, especially considering Luna does need to be able to finish up this Silver Edge, and she needs to do it quick. But yeah, they outplayed them in that fight, did Falcons.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me, was that was just a pure mechanical outplay. They were being able to pull them apart and weren't able to allow Quest to play as this 5-man unit. Like, Quest is a very good team at being able to team fight properly as full 5 heroes, but if you start to separate them, that's when you can really start to pick them apart, right? And that's exactly what they did. So they put themselves in good stead. They have taken some serious damage to their base, though, to be perfectly honest, losing a tier 3 tower already, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows just yet, but having the net worth lead is a big positive start for Team Falcons to try and secure this 4th game and the series as well. That's a big thing, ladies and gentlemen. If they win this, they're going to ESL One Kuala Lumpur, and they get to say hi to some of the best teams in the world and kind of start out this roster shuffle season in the best way possible, because if you're a new team like Falcons, you want to go to this big land. Like, you need to go to ESL One Kuala Lumpur so you can work out some of the kinks on land before things really start to get serious in the start of next year.
I'm mentioning again, like, we've seen some pretty good performances out of Melreen, but seeing him on land, I think, would just be so next level, right? Like, we want to see what man's able to do on 0 ping against, a lot of these different matchups.
Yeah, we've
That's
got
one
a
of the
lot of
things
known
about
quantities.
these MENA quals, right? Like, most of the games are being played on the device server unless there's a solid agreement from both teams to play in an alternative one. So, you know, when there's no questions asked, just full on zero ping essentially on LAN, that's the real situation that you want.
MKB picked up now by Skitter as well. So MKB nullify BKB. This is basically the end game for the Wraith King. Picked up his own shard as well, so he is a very spooky man in a lot of these fights. I'm really liking the way that Skitter has kind of taken this game by the balls and really kind of turned into one of those carriers as the Wraith King instead of doing what he did in the previous series with the Aghanim Scepter. Wasn't too chuffed with that, but it's really become a good position right now. Full Hex on Amar as well. Hex
I feel like we're kind of going to get just a repeat of game number 2 in this game, though, right? With Falcons, just they have too many heroes that are capable of being legitimate threats in the later stages. Hell, even Crit now, right? He's got his Aghanim Scepter finished up. Partially because they've been a little bit more successful in recent fights, but also the Philosopher's Stone that he literally just sent back to base played a huge part in that, right? So he's got the Dark Portrait, you can layer that in onto the Luna, and, you know, enough said. Like you mentioned, Wraith King, capable of one-hitting a few targets. Bristleback, he's got a Scythe of Vice available. Shaker can two-hit, essentially, a lot of these supports. And you just compare that to a Keeper of the Light, a Centaur. In terms of relative effectiveness, it's so much less.
He was there and then he wasn't. That's what we talked about, that kind of one-shot potential that Wraith King has. And yeah, exactly right. It really does feel like that Team Falcons are more than happy for this game to go late. Like, yeah, you're playing against a more...
He literally one-shot him.
Yeah,
it was 1435 physical damage to a 1400 HP Pugner. Poor little green man.
Yeah, bad luck, bro. That's what you get for standing in front of the one true king.
I will not hear any Pugner blasphemy, alright?
Yeah,
Cutest
you're
hero
a
in
big
the whole
Suck
game,
fan.
alright? No. Does a little dance.
He does do a very cute dance. Like, he's my favorite taunt. The little...
Even when he's like doing the Zuck, he's full on vibing out, right? He's like having a little party. He's like, whoa, it's all happening.
I'm pretty sure the taunt is called like funny Xyla, Xyla bones or something like that. And I'm like, that's cool. That's really cool.
I'm literally going to look that up because I have it equipped. No, it's called Check This Out.
Is it? Bullshit.
Yeah. Bro, I'm literally looking on my screen. Why would you not believe me?
What the? Huh?
I think you're thinking of Clinks.
Oh, that's... Ugh.
It is called Xyla Bones on Clinks, yes.
Damn it.
Wow, all skeletons look the same to you?
Well, is Pugner a skelly?
Oh, hold on, team fight.
There's team fight, let's go, alright. Amar comes in, Hex, oh that's double Hex as well, double Portrait, and they're coming in, they're doing the damage, they need to get this Echo, and it's in front of them, directly on two of the cores!
No,
see you later, Quest! They're losing members left, right, and center, and this game is kicking up to 11 for Falcons. All it took was the extra confidence from these fights, and they are now able to charge forward into the base of Quest. And they are looking large and in charge when it comes to these team fights. You can see Mulren just waiting in the wings, just knowing that he doesn't have to completely blow his load straight away. And he gets the perfect Echo Slam, just takes down TA2000 and Malik, and that is all that they needed in that fight. What a massive net worth swing as well. 25K
230 gold until that
in.
buyback coming through for the Luna as well, so he can only just sit back and watch as his base crumbles. That Desolator is just ripping apart this base right now.
Yeah, they've got some treants. They don't have all too many skelly bros, because otherwise these racks would be gone, and this is 2 lanes of rack. It's probably going to be 3 lanes.
It will.
Oh. If this wasn't the final game, you probably might be seeing some Gs being dropped, but the way that
it's Quest, they would never tap out early.
That's true. Quest are definitely in it to win it most of the time.
For the long haul. I think you have to go in here on Malik. You've got to give it your life up. You've got the buyback available if you absolutely need to. It's just about making space for Luna to be able to respawn. You can't take too many back steps because they're just going to take your last lane of racks.
And that's what they're doing here. They at least now have the Luna to be able to come back in. They want to get it done. It is Mega Creeps now for the side of the Falcons. Snaking's probably going to be the only member that's going to lose his life. Beautiful Fisher, and that is just a disconnect. They will at least get the Okersil Totem over the top. TA2000 wants the kill, but it's Omar who claims it. And PSG Quest, they are looking, they're searching, they're desperately trying to cling to some of these kills from Falcons, but they will walk away nonchalantly. It's almost a fake back, it seems. They're regrouping on this high ground. They've still got 2 minutes left of this Aegis, Matt. They want more. They want this done. They want that ticket to ESL One Kuala Lumpur.
I mean, they know that Snake King can come back in at any stage, right? He's got the buyback. He's got the Wrath of Nature available. Can just TP right on in, pop the pipe, and that should be enough for them to be able to take this last one. They didn't pop the Eclipse, at least, on the Luna, and she's under the cover of a smoke right now. With that Shadow Walk, you would love to be able to claim just that initial burst onto someone like Amar before he's able to pop the Bloodstone. He's actually going to be completely away from this smoke attempt. So again, the issue comes when you've got all of these mega creeps just coming in towards the base. You only have so few opportunities to be able to make a lot of these plays happen, especially when you've got some of these heroes that need to reveal physically on the lane as well. So it just becomes so much more obvious when you're looking to make this sort of move. So what do? They back up, they farm a little bit more, they wait for their big cooldowns, they don't expend the buyback, and they get a free Tormentor. So now even more stuns available for Team Falcons to potentially close this one out.
Yeah, they've got themselves almost every single shard. Let me have a look. I'm kind of buckling here.
And they do.
Yes, they do. The only one that doesn't have a shard is Omar on the Muerta, which is probably not the greatest for the support one. But anyways, that is all they will need to finish out this game. But as you said, you know, they just kind of go back, they get all their resources back, they can continue to push in with these Treants, with the Skelly Bros. It's going to be very, very obvious if there ever is going to be a movement being made by Quest. TA2000, he's up on the high ground. He has buyback available now, though. So, they will have a second life on their Luna if they do ever need it. And once again, you can just see what Falcons are trying to do. They're just trying to get in towards these side parts of the map, seeing if they can try and catch off any of the members of Quest. Amar will walk forward. They're chipping away at these little buildings just to try and give
bring
the
them as
creeps
far back as they can. Yeah, let the creeps do the work.
Just trying to give them that free path towards that tier 4, right? Trying to make this as hard as it possibly can be for Quest to try and defend. Luna is great at defending all of these creeps, but you've got creeps, you've got treants, you've got skeletons. Ooh, the Echo Slam goes in. Marlon wants to try and get this kill here on TA2000. In comes the Soulbind as well. They don't get the Dark Portrait, but they get the kill. TA2000 now has buyback. Malik's going to come in, gets a nice little two-man who stomp. Is it the damage they need, though? BKB is starting to wear out for the side of the Falcons, but they're doing a lot of damage, turning back in. Marlon goes into the background. It gets the kill there onto the Pugner as well. So Kaori is going to have to buy back into this fight. Skidder goes down, wants to get this second life. Marlon goes down, so he has a lot of this HP to be able to come back in and try and get this fight going. TA2000, he's oh so low. He's hexed up. He gets four stuffed away. He's trying to get into the fountain. He gets the heal and the cheese, so he will be able to stay alive for a little bit longer, but the base, it's all in shambles for PSG Quest. They are staying alive thanks to that Wraith King Ags, and all these units are deciding to punch in towards the buildings, and it looks like it is going to be a ticket all the way to Kuala Lumpur being stamped by the Falcons. They're standing strong, and Amar's doing so much damage here on the Bristleback, and that will be it. It is a 3-1 scoreline for Team Falcons to get their ticket all the way over to ESL One Kuala Lumpur.
They'll be flying their way over there for sure, the Falcons.